so I don't know how long this will be. Just had my Dominican neighbor Nelson hello, and something else. They're not cherry tomatoes, and we got so anyway, I don't know how much of this is gonna take because of the rain situation. So anyways, here we are. Yeah, I don't know how this came up yesterday. There's a little thunder for us. I don't know how this came up yesterday, but we were talking at the gym about Amanda Knox, who got arrested and put in jail in Italy for murdering her roommate or something. Something along those lines. Something along those lines. Well, she later on was exonerated. And I don't know, we were just talking about it. Those of you that know who she is, you know, kind of know who she is. I never, I don't know, man. I just never really bought her shit. Like, to me, she just seems like, well, I mean, I'll just be honest with you. I just kind of go off of how I feel about something. Her story, her whole vibe is dark to me. Like, she just gives me a bad feeling. And at 45 years old, I don't really, like I told the guy, I don't really feel like I need to explain myself about it. I just know that I feel like she's deceiving. She's deceptive. Her answers are very calculated. And, hey, brother, what's going on? And when you tell the truth about stuff, you don't really have to concoct a big-ass story. We're talking about Amanda Knox here. I just don't believe anything that she says. I don't know why it came up. I don't know why we were talking about it or how it came up, but just talking to a couple. Oh yeah, the guy. One guy's a detective for the sheriff's department, or Tampa Police. I forget which, or Pinellas or something. And he said he was lying. He said he was interviewing a guy, and the newer detective kind of was like buying the shit that he was talking about. This is an older case. It was something to do with like they were fencing stuff and selling it on the internet, and it got the pawn shop type shit. It was felonies, but they were like getting stuff off the internet and selling it and doing stuff fraudulently and taking the credit card numbers or something, and I forget what it was, but he just said, like, the younger detective kind of bought what the guy was saying because his answers seemed so articulate and all that. And so for me, it's fucking nuts. For me, I just kind of go, well, man, when you're telling the truth about stuff, it doesn't have to be methodical. And, I don't know. I just kind of looked at Amanda Knox as like when she talks, she does a lot of acting with her words and with her facial expressions. And she never really refers to the person that was murdered as a person, And to me, that's a real, it doesn't mean that she killed the girl, but I just feel like she knows more than she's letting on. And she had no problem throwing somebody else under a bus about it that had nothing to do with it. And I don't know. Long story short, I'm not feeling her her thing. The other one that came up a while back was the Casey Anthony one. She actually lives about 20 I don't know if it's 20 miles or about an hour from here in Clearwater. Total fucking nut job, you know. And you know, like I tell people, man, there's people. Sometimes you don't know if a bug landed in your drink. Oh, this is nice. That's the white trash burglar alarm. I don't use that for yoga. I put it on here when I wash the dog. You are a pain in the ass. Yes, crazy. Yeah, I don't know how we came up with talking with serial killers. There's a lot of fucking serial killers that have come to Florida or are from Florida. And I used to stay up at night. I would either watch like Vietnam videos or like stuff about World War II and hear like, where the fuck is on my face? Probably kratom or something. Glad my friend told me that was on my face. I had fucking brake grease on my face earlier when I went to Walgreens. The girl kept looking at me funny and I was like, what's going on? She was like, what do you mean? I go, you keep looking at me like I'm a weirdo or something. She's like, oh, you know, you just got some shit on your face. I said, well, why don't you just fucking tell me I got some fucking shit on my face? Whatever. One of my gym partners that I know worked for Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, and he was there when they arrested Bobby Joe Long, who was a serial killer here in Florida in the 80s. And he used to actually travel up and down this road right here. And they found a body kind of like back this way where the automotive place is where I feed the cats in the dumpster. It used to be a strip club. There used to be a lot of strip clubs on the street. Yeah, there's a lot of... I'm trying to think what brought... You know, we were talking about liars. The guy was talking about how sometimes people can't read people when they lie about stuff. And I was telling, you know, I wasn't trying to get it too in depth about stuff, but, you know, every once in a while on my feed, these actors that, yeah, they may have been in the Navy SEALs, but they had nothing to do with fucking killing bin Laden or anything like that. We have no proof whether bin Laden's been dead for years or if he's still alive or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, they film a movie about it and people think that it's real, you know? And I don't know, I always just see this guy on podcasts, you know, and their face is always fucking half illuminated, you know, because of, you know, whatever. And I don't know, there's just so many things people lie about today that I just don't even know why they lie. I guess they lie because they don't want people to know what's really going on. And like, I was just catching, I fucking can't stand like the UFC fighter, Frank Shamrock. He's one of the biggest narcissistic dickheads this sport has ever seen. One of the top douchebags of MMA is Frank Shamrock. The guy left his dog at the San Jose International Airport tied in the back of his truck because he couldn't bring it on a flight. So he left the dog and went to Japan, leaving the dog tied in the back of his truck. Okay, that's the type of dude he is. Trying to tell people the guy had an unreal like physique, okay? Just to give you an idea, right now, he weighs 155 pounds. That's his natural weight. When he was, sauced up, he weighed about 210, and he had he had like a Greek god physique. I'm sure he had pretty good genetics to begin with. But he tried to say that he looked like that because of he was in jail. Well, I can tell you, working in a prison, the only guys that really look like that are working out are usually black dudes, or there's some white people that have them genetics, like Italian and Sicilian, probably because we have African in us. I'm African from the waist down. It's a joke. Where's this pounding coming from? Fucking little kittens in there are trying to like hop over the dog thing, and the dog's gonna fucking eat one of these little motherfuckers. But it's like, bro, why lie about like why lie about this shit, bro? No one believes that you. And then I'm like, I don't know if you're familiar with I don't know if it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. I don't watch any of that shit. So I remember seeing the movie a long time ago, like parts of it with Tom Cruise, the movie Reacher or whatever. And I guess there's like a internet, whatever spin-off on, it's not YouTube, I think it's Netflix. No, it's not Netflix, it's Amazon. I forget all these fucking things, Hulu, I don't know, I've never watched them. But he was saying, like, he's 6'2", 6'3", probably weighed about 205, which isn't a bad, isn't a horrible weight for somebody that, he's an athletic guy. But he was another one, I think his name is Alan Richardson or something, I forget, he plays Reacher now. I like the guy, but he's been pretty adamant about like putting on 40 pounds of muscle in 6 months, which I can just tell you, I don't care if you're black, white, or part Nephilim, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You're not putting on 40 pounds of muscle in 6 months. Putting on 5 pounds of muscle in about 3 months is pretty hard, even being enhanced, These guys like take gear and then they act like, they act like they did it the good old fashioned way. And he later came out and said that he's on testosterone replacement therapy, which I don't really buy, that it's TRT is under like 300 for a week milligram. I've actually been, I stopped taking the amount of testosterone that I was taking, and I stopped taking my Deca. I kind of need to start taking it again because my fucking neck and my back and my hips and shit are starting to really start to hurt. Well, one, I'm not really working as hard as I was, like loading trucks and stuff. And two, I didn't feel like I needed that amount of testosterone. And I feel like I look better taking about, I'm about 300 milligrams right now a week, which is down from like 400. That isn't really considered a therapeutic dose. That's more of a steroid cycle. And I just said, well, I'm not unloading trucks. I'm not lifting couches. I'm not killing myself. I'm not riding my bike and then moving furniture and then going to the gym and going home and blah, 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 blah. I don't feel like I need that amount of stuff. And I feel like I look better. There's a sweet spot for everything. But if somebody told me I'm taking less now and I look better, I wouldn't believe it. But I don't know. I just don't feel like I would need to lie about shit like that. You know what I mean? Like there's this dude on here, his channel's called Go Nootropics. Real, just a douchebag all around. You can see I'm drinking Kratom right now. Actually, I had to get red because they didn't have any green. The guys on there, like, talking about Kratom, like I talked about Percocets, you know, like how his life was before Kratom. And I just, you know, I'm not saying everybody's going to have the most magnificent experience. It's like Suboxone. I've never gotten high taking Suboxone. People find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that you can get high taking Suboxone, but you can, because people talk about it and think that when you take it. I've never taken more than, man, I think 4 milligrams at a time, and they come in like a 12 like strip or whatever. I think it was 12 or 8. I don't even remember, but I could make a strip last me like 3 days. So I don't know. I just see a lot of people, you know, giving, you know, is Kratom addictive? Will Kratom ruin your life? I don't know if it's addictive any more so than, I just think like, you know, like danger wise, you're taking advice from people that have invented fentanyl, okay? It's not that dangerous. Somebody like me, I'm 45 years old. I've got a bad hip, a fucked up elbow that I've got to get reopened up, which is probably never going to happen. You know, I mean, eventually they're going to have to go back in my neck and fix and get rid of some of this scar tissue, which is probably never going to happen, right? Hello? Hello? No, I'm not itching your head. I'm not itching your head, you little shit. You look like a fucking baby jaguar, don't you? You would kill me in the jungles of wherever the fuck you're from, right? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, you little shit. You're such a cute cat. Come here, Puma. Come here, my Puma. Look at them eyes. You're a baby jaguar. Another thing that I kind of get really tired of is these fake Christian conversion people that they go, oh, you know, I like, okay, so Kat Von D, the tattoo girl, who, you know, she had that show. I don't even know what the fucking show is called. She used to go out with the Loser and Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx. It's funny. I seen them when I lived in Wilmington. I was working at Front Street Brewery next door to Rum Runners, and they rode by on, I don't remember if they had a moped that they rented, but you know, she's very, I mean, she's very, very pretty. I'm not into black-haired chicks or gothic chicks, but she's absolutely gorgeous. She's getting a lot of her like tattoos all, don't touch me like that. She's getting a lot of her tattoos all like, I forget what they call it, blacked out, where like if you get a tattoo like this, you just completely just cover it in black ink, so you look like this cat. I'm gonna wipe your eyes. So what she's saying now, she moved from California, which I don't blame her. Everybody's moving from California. She, you know, got baptized and all of this stuff. And, you know, it's not, I mean, I was asked this about a month and a half ago. Somebody sent me a clip of her. She was on the Theo Vaughn podcast, and she, you know, has a clip of her getting baptized and all this and that. And, you know, I would just say these people that are lying about it will eventually be exposed. It's not really my place to say, but like the Bible says, you'll know them by their fruits, meaning like you'll know them by how their life is and their story and how they converse and how they relate to people and their testimony. I would probably say, the reason why I call bullshit on a lot of these people is because they don't ever have this like life-changing, life-altering like testimony about like salvation and Jesus Christ and believing in him and becoming born again and the holy. There's just, it's like Alice Cooper, they just kind of have this blanket bullshit textbook Christianity thing that just pays, where they just can get it. It's kind of like people that think the 700 Club, like my mom, thought that those people were on the right path. It's funny. My mom used to send me stuff in the mail back when DVDs and VHS was popular. Yeah, there was days when we had those big clunky fucking things. And any pastor, she never sent me any Joel Osteen. I don't think so. But any of the pastors that she's ever sent me, I just never vibed with. You know what I mean? And I remember when I was going to a church, people send me all kinds of stuff, and they mean well by it. And I mean, my mom didn't mean like evil, but like I remember when Joyce Myers was popular, and I'm just going to tell you, one look at the person and I can just go, yeah, I don't know what it is about her, but I'm just going to pass, And when you get down to it, there's this tiptoeing around the Bible that they always have. They tiptoe around the Bible. They know enough about these losers. I know. Orange. These guys are like, when are we going to get fed? They just kind of tiptoe. Like it says in the Bible, listen, today, deception is what's happening, okay? So anything that's getting released today, like the lost books of the Bible, the book of Enoch, Yeshua, Yahweh, anytime I hear people refer to those names, my inner spirit goes, ugh, I don't really like that. And it's not me not liking it. It's the Holy Spirit telling me that does not sound like something God wants me to do. If there is only one God, you wouldn't refer to a mountain. Like, let's say there was a mountain in Florida. You wouldn't refer to it as Mount such and such. It would just be the mountain, because there's only one. So you wouldn't need to refer to God as, YWHW or just, it's just craziness. And why in all the world, all of a sudden today, with everything going on, would it be so important for you to call God this or Jesus that? Out of all the days and all the years that I've been on earth, I've never heard any of this nonsense before, other than the Yeshua thing I heard right around Y2K. And I don't know, man. The shit people believe. I don't know what it's like to be an ordinary person without discernment, because I've had it my entire life. All this stuff with, the aliens and, like it's everywhere now. Back when I was in the aliens and all of that stuff, I remember my mom clearly telling me, they're demons, right? And I was like, yeah, that just sounds like some Christian bullshit. And because it came from my mom, who's usually wrong about everything. I mean, she thought Trump was from God, or he's a baby Christian or whatever bullshit that she believes. I was just like, yeah, I don't know, man. There's probably, but once I figured out, the shape of the earth, the firmament, and there ain't nothing coming in from outer space, and we ain't ever going to outer space. I kind of, and that Lucifer is the prince of the air, and these things are, spiritual, dimensional entities, and that they roam the earth and to and fro and all of that stuff. I kind of said, yeah, that makes sense, And, I just, when I see people like the guy from Blink 182, Tom DeLonge, and he's on the Steve-O, don't get me wrong, like I can't watch it because I would fucking go to his house and punch him in the face because it would trigger me that bad, because I have no filter when it comes to these fucking liars like Joe Rogan and all of his friends, and Alex Jones and, the guy from Blink, anybody that's lying and, deceiving so they can have their part in this New World Order kingdom, because that's what they're doing. I just don't have any tolerance for it, because they know exactly that they're lying to people. They know they're lying to people. So when I see all this stuff on aliens, and I read a lot of comments on stuff, and I read like comments on, man, everything from some of the alien videos, and I'll look through my old playlist of stuff that I used to watch, and I obviously I've been deceived. I have a fucking tattoo. But wouldn't you rather, if somebody had a tattoo of something and they were saying they were wrong, I don't know, I might be more apt to just hear them out. But I'm just looking at all this AI, Meta, AI, this commercial, or AI on your Facebook. I don't really use Facebook anymore, or Messenger, or any of that shit, but, it's like AI, in closing, AI is going to be either, if it isn't already, a fallen angel or beast, as it is in the Bible, or it's going to be worshipped as a god or an entity, or they're going to reveal that the entire time it's been an alien, or it's going to be like, instead of artificial intelligence, they're going to go, it's actually alien intelligence, and da 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 da, and they've been helping us this entire. I just see this deception with AI and all the shit they're able to like implement in editing photos and real videos and manipulate people's voices. And I really feel like in the Bible where it says, the delusion that's coming, it's going to fool even the smart, in the spiritually elite of God, because they're just not going, they're probably either going to be lukewarm at the time or just not, up to it. And, I just kind of feel like, man, people are just going to be people are just so asleep with shit today. People are so asleep with stuff. As long as you give people their chocolate milk and their Starbucks and their antidepressants and their Klonopins and, their pastries and pizza and breadsticks with your pizza and brownies with your breadsticks with your pizza, so you can have as much fucking dough and problems with your digestion as possible. People are just fat and asleep. You know what I mean? People are just spiritually inept, and critical thinking is a thing that it's no longer critical, and people are no longer thinking. But this artificial intelligence, it's going to be used as a weapon, and it is going to not only cost humans, like millions of lives will be destroyed by artificial intelligence, okay? It's going to cost them, I feel like it's going to cost them their eternity. I just have, when Trump, I can tell you there's a couple key moments in my life in the last couple of years that I remember. One of them was I was in the shower here when I heard something about Trump, and I said, that's a bad idea. Or I forget what it was, but when I hear anything about AI, I just go, yeah, There's nothing good that's gonna. I don't know if they're gonna do some Operation Bluebeam bullshit with it or whatever. But I just have a bad feeling, a real bad feeling about AI, and I still have a feeling that they're going to do some alien holographic Super Bowl halftime shit and go, oh, we're getting invaded. You know, like I kind of feel like War of the Worlds type shit was like a dry run back in the 50s or whenever that happened. You know, it's just, I don't know, man. The music I hear, you know, like the music I hear, like on YouTube videos. I don't know if you guys ever watch like YouTube shorts. The music that people use, I can't even believe, one, that it's music. You know what I mean? The lyrics, the shit that I hear people saying in songs, and I'm by no means a prude or anything like that, but it's just like, man, are you fucking kidding me that you're saying that in a song and that's on the radio? You know, or I'm watching a commercial, because sometimes you can't get away from the commercials here on YouTube, and they'll be like going, I'm so-and-so from Real Housewives of whatever, you know, like I don't know what city they're in, you know what I mean? And this is the shopping app that I use to get that 90s feel of, look at this, you know, like Temu, blah, 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 I'm shopping like a billionaire type bullshit. And it's just like, I don't know how many people are familiar with YouTube commercials, but the music, the commercials, the tonality, the deliverance of it, it's all so fucking obnoxious. Like, I'm watching a podcast, listening to a podcast rather yesterday. The dude literally had like 6 stops in his podcast where he's reading advertisements for like Athletic Greens, AG1. Man, I'll tell you. And this is just something, I don't care if I get to 20,000, you know, whatever, subscribers. I'm never going to use a product and just read some bullshit about like CBD and go, AG Greens. Man, I'll tell you, Steve, when I don't have time in the morning to like juice some kale and spinach and cucumbers up, and I just don't have, you know, or I'm out on the road or I'm touring or doing a public speaking event, and I'm backstage and I'm shaking up a glass of my, you know, with my new to-go mixer that AG Greens provides for the first, you know, if you buy a month, you get one of these things free. I'll tell you, I noticed the difference when I don't use AG1 greens, you know what I mean, or whatever the fuck they're called. It's like, get out of here. You really think that any of that shit works? You know, you really think that any of that shit that they're selling you, all this snake oil nonsense works? You know, or I just seen a guy yesterday. He's like, man, I don't know about you. You know, he's talking about like, what was it? Not 5-hour energy, but some nonsensical energy shot. Oh, this, it improves your cognitive function. It improves this and that. And man, it really just enhances, you know, your whole experience. I mean, it makes you focused, and it's like, I don't know, man. People will just take money for anything. They just want money. They don't care what they're selling you. They don't care what they're giving you. They don't care what they're telling you. And people just, you know, people just buy it. People just consume and consume and consume and consume. And I don't know, man. It's like a friend was talking to me about the presidential debate, and I said, bro, I don't watch that shit, man. I haven't owned a television. I really, really, really stopped tuning out the second time. I think it was Trump was running, I think, 4 years ago. Damn, it's already been 4 years. Holy fuck. You know, when Biden won, I really just stopped paying attention to shit in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't handle, I don't know if the guy's that stupid or if he's playing, like, I don't know if he's like playing a fucking role or whatever, but I just can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't handle it. I don't know how anybody can handle watching him. You know, whether he's joking or it's a fucking gimmick or whatever. He drives me so. I don't know what went on with his son and the Ukraine and all of that. And I can't even get involved because I will want to fuck him up. You know what I mean? The nonsense of it all. Like, I just, you know, and then you have like people like Ben Shapiro or Tucker Carlson. All these people are Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, what's that one douchebag, Bill O'Reilly. All these people are just, you know, the Hegelian dialect method of this side and that side. You're on this side, you're on that side. And as long as it all comes into a thing where we want it to go, that's all we need it to do. So I just have a hard time with, I don't even have a hard time because I just can't even handle it. But when I see it in the newspapers, I just go, man, people just believe this shit. Hold on, I'm trying to read your thing. Oh yeah, the Biden-Trump thing. That's the. Well, of course, you know, I mean, you have to have, you know, duality, good versus evil. You have to have a means to an end and all of that stuff. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's really, really tough. It's really tough for me to even tune into any of this. I mean, I don't even want to walk by like the newspaper stand because I really want somebody to pay for the fucking nonsense. You know, I know they're going to pay, but it's like I want them to pay right now. Like, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired of all the fucking nonsense of the world and, you know, oh, the Tom Brady roast. It's like, man, who gives a fuck about any of these people? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know, man. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, I completely understand why people finagle people and mislead them and con them out of money and, you know, act as a thing to get their whatever support, because people are just, you know, easily misled for the most part. You know, that's really what it comes down to. I got to, what time is it? 4:50. I'm going to get ready here to go feed my cats. I got some other stuff I'm going to talk about on the next video. I just haven't had a chance to go over the notes, and I wasn't planning on being on here for 40 minutes. So I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to comment on here. I will come back later and answer any questions or whatever on here. It was good seeing you, Mr. 3-point shooter.